This is the Promising Practices for Health Equity podcast, brought to you by the Interdisciplinary Research Leaders Program, a national leadership program of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation.
Hello and welcome to Season 2 of Promising Practices for Health Equity, the podcast created by the Interdisciplinary Research Leaders Program, where we explore innovative and actionable strategies to create a fairer and healthier world. I'm your host, Crystal Lee, and I am joined by my awesome colleagues and co-hosts, J. Robin Moon, Mandy Labresh, and Cody Cotton. Hey, friends.
Hey.
Hey. So, of course, we have to start with a check-in. And the check-in question is, what is something that is quietly bringing you peace or joy right now? I will start. I have taken up woodworking and also continuing with my learning how to restore furniture. So I recently restored a Henkel Harris, whatever, a piece of furniture that I found for $20 at a secondhand place. Mm. It's a $1,300 piece, and I love it. And I just refinished it. It's solid mahogany.
Okay.
And I took off the old varnish and the old stain, and it's beautiful, and I love it. And when I go home, I'm gonna put on the new pulls that I bought for it, and then it's gonna go in my bedroom, and I'm gonna be so happy about it. So that kind of work is bringing me joy. So I'm gonna toss it to Cody.
All right. I appreciate that. What is bringing me joy right now? Probably be my baby girl. So I have two boys, Kyle and Simba, and my baby girl is 5 months old, Corey Rose. And it just has been an amazing experience. The first 3 months, she would not let me hold her or anyone else but mommy. I came back from our DC trip together, gathering, actually on Kyle's birthday on May 16th. And the day I came back, she was so happy to see me. Big smiles. And from that point on, like we're locked in. We're forever now. Girl, dad, and everything. So that is what is bringing me.
5.5 months?
Yes. Just made 5 months. Just made 5 months. So that is what's quietly bringing me. Yeah, that's quietly bringing me joy and loudly bringing me joy. All right, Robin, throw it your way.
As you all know, that I've been baking sourdough bread for quite some time, and I created my sourdough starter, and it was just very bravado, like I'm gonna just create a sourdough starter, and it was a little hard, and eventually I grew it, and you all helped me name it using the AI. Its name is Lunarize. For the audience, my last name is Loon, so that's how we're related.
Oh.
So I've been baking.
Like, I get it.
All right, I get it now.
Now you get it.
Right.
Gifting food is my thing, wherever I travel, and also baking to gift is also something I've been doing. Just recently I started, I know baker friends, and my banker, who helps me with my money, he said he would like to learn how to start, how to bake, but he's baked other things, but not sourdough. So I shared my Lunarize with like all kinds of instruction, and the other friend is a baker, but his sourdough starter died, so I gave mine, and it keeps on growing. I feed it, and I can, it's literally a gift that keeps on growing. And that friend sent me photos 2 days ago of his bread that he baked using my Lunarize. So,
Luna.
It's
amazing.
Born
Luna.
my heart. Yeah, it's just a great gift to feed people in more ways than one.
I think what's quietly bringing me joy, because I kind of forget about it, is I revived my interest in gardening a little bit and growing some veggies. I get really into like the prep and like planting them, and then for a few weeks I'm into watering them, and then I I kind of forget about it, so that's why it's a little quiet. But now now the fruit is starting to come, and so there's a lot of lettuce, all different kinds of tomatoes, and then some stuff maybe isn't doing as well as I hope for. But I haven't done it in a few years, so it feels fun to do it again. And yeah, the kids, especially my youngest, get really excited to pick the cherry tomatoes from their backyard.
Love
So
that.
that's been fun.
So season 2
Woo!
of Promising Practices for Health Equity. I'm super excited for this season because, as you know, this season features the IRL teams, the experiences of the IRL teams, and promising practices that they have either used in their projects or that have emerged from their projects, or some combination of the two. So yeah, I'm super excited to hear their stories, but I wonder why do you think that it is critical for us to center the voices of the teams as opposed to the outcomes of their work in our conversations about health equity?
I mean, I would love to start off. I think it's really awesome to see how we're able to shape and build the curriculum, the program in general. But it's one thing to give them a space to show what they experienced, what they learned, and what they took away from.
Yeah, it's a long time that cohorts are with us, 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years. So I think there's so much learning and evolving that happens, even from what they had planned and proposed to us in terms of what actually plays out. And I think, for the impact, there's other things you can go to find out. But yeah, and I think so many teams had to make pivots during COVID, that it's fun to be able to learn about that and, see different tools that they used along the way.
Love that. I was even thinking the same team that entered into the program is not the same that left.
Mm-hmm.
So much growth happened in between that.
And we have such a wide geographic diversity of teams too, to see how teams that are focused on particular themes, how they executed their projects and what their experience was of that execution across the country, I think will be interesting.
And to take even one step further back, this podcast in and of itself is our National Program Center dissemination product to amplify our fellows' work. So of the 3 seasons, season 2 is an entree. This is the main entree.
Main dish.
Main dish. And I think that, the audience might have heard this theme throughout the season 1 episodes. We started out with, certain intention and aspiration, and the best way that we knew at that time how to build leadership. That has evolved quite a bit. Yeah. And I think, we have moved from giving voice to somebody who doesn't have a voice to actually amplifying the voice that existed that wasn't being heard. I think there's a big difference in that. And we are not about talking only about success defined by sanitized metrics and evidence-based, but really the process, the reality, how this really actually happens, and not everybody or every research grant program might be talking about. That's what we want to elevate. So that's the entire reason for being in my mind this season.
I love that. I feel like I keep having a lot to say, but I think about Luis Ortega and Storytellers for Change. And he taught us so much, right? Not just staff, but he taught so many of the fellows. So we get a chance to see that narrative play out over the podcast and to see the impact he had. Again, not just over us, but the fellows and the IRL program just in general. So really looking forward to that.
I think there are a lot of lessons and takeaways and things that can be done from research that is quantitative and numbers kind of positivist focused. But I have found that the things that have been most impactful to me have been qualitative projects, where you get to hear from people. And so, as it relates to the practice of health equity, right? Behaving as if we are already in a space where health equity is the norm, to the point of emergent strategies by Adrienne Marie Brown. I think it's helpful for us to talk more about this work that we are doing and how we do it and the experience of doing that work and the lessons that are learned so that others can take what we have done and move it forward. And I think that the numbers are fine and great and necessary.
Right.
And I think the stories are impactful in a different way. And I feel a responsibility, to Robin's point, to highlight and amplify those stories. And so this podcast, season 2, is our attempt at doing that.
You will also hear from some of the episodes in season 2 that certain teams started out with certain goals and objectives, and things did not work out the way they thought they would. Does that mean it's a failure? No, far from it. It went somewhere else. And we have all together learned how to pivot in that way. Not pivot, in this case, it's actually about the final result, outcome, not metrics, but outcome, in that we learn to pivot, and then we are okay with what we experience. And then we made that our promising practice. So I want the audience to hear that as well.
Love that. Love that. Something that both of you all said, you all both spoke to the diversity of the teams. And I know I didn't want to throw it back on you, but I feel like we all could share some of the places that we have our teams from, even from just over the map. So I know one of the first ones that come to mind for me, maybe because I just want to go so bad, but Hawaii, right? I'm looking forward to all the stories and things that are going to be shared. I think who else?
We got Hawaii, North Port St. Joe, Florida. We have Boston.
Plenty
we have
more.
North Carolina. We have Atlanta. We have Kansas City. We have Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana.
Wow.
We have Alaska. We have Iowa.
Wow.
Super duper looking forward to talking with all of these lovely folks about the experiences of their IRL projects, and importantly, what are the promising practices that they implemented in their projects, and or what are the promising practices that emerged from their projects. And so we'll hear about policies, practices, research approaches, community engagement, how they did that community engagement, communication, and so on. So it's a lot to, I think it's gonna be great. And I would love for you all to be with us along the journey. Tell us, what is your hope for season 2, by painting us a picture of its impact? I can start. So my vision for the season 2 episodes is that I imagine that folks will listen to the episodes, they will hear something, maybe that they've never heard of, or that they've heard of but they've never thought about applying it to their work for health equity, and that they will take a look at what it involves, and potentially think about how they can apply it to their work, apply one of these promising practices to their work. So I imagine somebody listening, hearing about something, going to a search engine and searching for the concepts that they learned about, and take a look at how they can talk more about it or incorporate it into the work that they are doing. That's kind of how I envision season 2 making an impact.
I think that I hope that season 2 will just open up new possibilities for people. I can imagine, I'm not a researcher myself, but I can imagine that at times it can seem maybe kind of isolating, like you're confined to doing certain methods and just doing certain research tasks along the way. And I can imagine that all of our teams and fellows along the way had to make a lot of changes and that the road was not linear. And so I hope by fellows and teams sharing about their process, that I can just open up new opportunities and possibilities for other people doing research to think about.
I love that. I'm going to speak on the other side of it too, because again, we hope so many people listen to it and they have an aha moment. But I'm also thinking about the people who may not be researchers, like you mentioned, who may see like, oh, okay, I can add value to that research team, whether you're in community or anything else, right? I'm just saying that this could be an opportunity someone can hear it and discover what a fellowship is. Discover what does it mean to be in public health. There's so many different ways to be in public health. So I'm also just thinking this could be a great learning opportunity and exposure more than anything.
I envision this season to encourage the audience out there to recognize the criticality of the process of this work in defining what community engaged research is and honor the process. I also imagine that this season will help folks redefine what we mean by impact. Impact of a certain research. What do we actually mean by that? Impacting whom? Impacting what? And impacting what part of the research. Lastly, I imagine our season 2 will inspire other researchers and community leaders and those who are committed to community engaged research work to learn to be vulnerable. I assure you, the episodes you will hear will not be about things that you can read and peer-reviewed journal articles. It's going to be very human and it's going to be very honest and open. And that we believe at IRL, that vulnerability, that taking chances to, trust the community changes everything. And I believe that it's going to be reflected in all the episodes you will hear.
Well said.
To that point, something else that occurs to me is I hope that maybe this podcast, these episodes in season 2 can help communities learn how to effectively engage with research in ways that serve them, like insisting that the research that is done in their spaces answers questions that are important to them, that they build additional awareness of how that can be done through hearing about how IRL teams have done that work, and just to build capacity for everybody who is engaged in community engaged research is what I hope comes out of season 2. So thanks for that, y'all. So let's wrap it up with our traditional last question, which is a checkout question. And the question is, what is, in one word, what is your intention for season 2? I'll start. My word is, I'm going to say it's hyphenated, even though it's not. It's capacity building. That's what I hope this season achieves. I'll toss it to you, Mandy.
All right. I hope season 2 of the podcast inspires our listeners and viewers to think about things differently when it comes to community engaged research, partnerships, just whatever.
Expansion.
Ubuntu. I am because you are.
Thank you all for being with us today. And thank you to our listeners. As always, we want this to be a two-way conversation and we'd love to hear from you. Please share your thoughts with us via our LinkedIn page, where we'll post our show notes and any resources that we discuss in this and other episodes. And don't forget to subscribe to Promising Practices for Health Equity so that you never miss an episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks again for joining us. And remember, we're all on this journey together. and every step we take together brings us closer to a healthier, more just world. Until next time, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Promising Practices for Health Equity is produced by the Interdisciplinary Research Leaders Program, a national leadership program of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. A special thanks to our guests, our production team at Studio Americana, and to you, our listeners, for being a part of this important conversation.